Hi, my name is Yesol, an industrial designer based in Sweden. I want to talk about the design and disability, especially what it means designers take a consideration of disabled body and why we need to think of it. I had my disability when I was 6 years old. I was a very happy kid. My parents and my brother treat me the same as before my disease. But when I grew up in the area which is not accessible for me, I felt big gap between me inside home and another me outside the home, such as the school or community that I was in. And for example, when I was at home, I'm a lovely princess, youngest daughter. But when I went out home, many people look at me with the eye of empathy. Oh, I'm a beautiful little girl who can't walk. So I sometimes thought that my body is a problem and I could be the burden in the society. But you see, in the disability study, there are two models of the disability, the medical model and the social model. The medical model is the way we typically look at the disability for many, many years. The disabled body is a problem that needs to be fixed. So we say this perspective tells us that she, who in a wheelchair, needs a cure so that she can fit into our world. But the social model sees this picture differently. Instead of us fixating on disability that she has as the problem, the social model focuses on the experience of a disability and the context of the disability, the environmental creating disabling moments. So the social model says everybody needs to change our world to fit more people, include more people. So for example, let's make a ramp or elevator for her. She can enter the building. But sadly, it is much less common to see this way. So that's why with so many disabled community has been fighting for their own rights against the discrimination of the society for many years until now. So I can say the world has been built on the major group of the non-disabled body. I also experienced of this perception we call Ableism. When I started my career in the design field, designers create their things beautiful and attractive and let the people's lives easier. But most of the time, the target group is the healthy and ideal body. Sometimes the designer forgot or didn't think about enough the diverse body can exist as users and consumers. So the design itself creating exclusion of the disabled body. So here is there is 100 beautiful chairs has been designed by the greatest designer in the history, but very few is welcoming my body. So it is not all about me, or people in the same situation. Actually, the ableism affects all of us. You see, whether we think ourselves disabled or not, we are aging, getting old, and we got injured at some point. And maybe as a woman, you might have experience of difficulty to move around as a pregnant body. So everybody is exposed to the world built on the speed, productivity, and high proficiency, most favorable image. So then people will say, oh, there is a design for the disabled people, so they can access. Yes, and the design and technology brought up a lot of freedom and accessibility to the disabled people. But I would like to go furthermore, beyond the accessibility. Because when we say accessibility, there is the assumption that disabled people don't really have the taste. So if you need access, the style or design has not been taken seriously as the first priority. Always the functionality is the number one, the priority. Yes, of course the functionality is the important. But sometimes I should be grateful when it is accessible, even though it is not so beautiful. But I'm a person who has a taste with the colors and styles and shapes and feeling of the object. I don't want to sleep in a hospital look bed, and I want to make my space that feels like my home, like everybody does. So I can invite people to my space and show my taste and beloved belongings, instead of feeling shame, having the functionality working well, hospital looking bad. Then what designer can do? What would happen if we designer decided disabled bodies are worth including? When we include the disabled bodies as a part of the bigger community, all of us affect and get benefit. For example, the sidewalk ramp were made for the wheelchair users at the beginning, but it has been good for the parents with a stroller and bicycles users, and nowadays scooters. And another example, there is an automatic door opener. It's used for not only for the wheelchair user, but also parents with a stroller, and the user with the people with a cart, or the person who carry his grocery bags with the 2 hands. So this is why I want to talk about how importance of having the mindset as a designer that your design or visual communication makes a difference, and it will impact a lot to the society and people's lives. I invite you all to come to see my exhibition during the Southern Design Days. The theme of the exhibition is Design Meets Disability. It will broaden your perspective about design and different bodies. Thank you.